Howdy folks, welcome back to Railroads Online. Well, if you saw the thumbnail, you know what's up. Also, if you saw my community post, I've been getting pretty frustrated with this game. But I slogged on through it, persevered, and with a couple, I've got 13 state cars. So a couple train loads over at the depot, and yeah, we have a climax. So I'm excited to try that out. But before we can get all hooked up, we've got a little bit of a switching puzzle here. Things are getting a little tight as we get more stuff. So I've just started loading the lumber train. I got the Montezuma out of the way. I want to get the climax over there hooked up to that train. Also want to get some cordwood and take with us and leave it towards the smelter there as we go by. So I think I'm gonna pull this forward. So I want to hook onto these coal cars at some point. I think I can stick them between. So yeah, we got a little bit of switching to do here. We probably won't go to the iron mine today. We'll see how long this episode goes, but we're getting ready, and the old climax has got. It's got the pulling power, so hope springs eternal that we can actually make it to the iron mine. But I need to get the lumber train loaded up because I had to sell that and load it again and sell that to get enough money. And I'm broke again. $168. Such is the life of the hard-working mountain railroader. Let's hop in the cab here. So I'm going to slow down a bit because I'm not 100% sure. I'll get stuck in the car. I'm not 100% sure I got a link on this side. So let's run up here and have a little gander. Nope, I didn't. Alright, so we'll put that in. Slow it down a bit. I'm starting to get fairly herky-jerky as I get more track and more cars and stuff. So this may turn into an exploding mess at some point. But for now, we railroad. There we go. That slowed it right down. I didn't want to plow into these empty cars at too great of a rate of speed. So I'm going to tack these on, and then we'll get the porter back over there, go get some cordwood. And then I need to get that tacked onto the end of the train. I think I know how I'm going to do that. Because I've added some tracks here. Got more options over there. Alright, take your brake off, then run over here. So, several of you have commented throughout the series about Railroads Online Extended, I think it's called. And I did get a chance finally to check that out, and it looks fairly legit. So I have been using that a little bit to, mainly to teleport around. Like, if I get stuck inside of a coal car, I don't want to have to respawn and then run all the way back across the map. So, it's really handy to use ROX to teleport. And, yeah, pretty handy little tool. So, let's get unhooked. And let's back up. See how jittery this is? Like, it's almost uncontrollable at any kind of speed. But I definitely want to get to the iron mine. We need to make something iron. We've spent so much time trying to get there. I'm not ready to give up yet, but I am getting pretty frustrated with Railroads Online. I think the updates are being rushed out. There's obviously not any testing, or not very much testing happening anyway. I don't know if it's just updates for update's sake because they have a publisher now. I don't know. There's not much communication coming out of the developer or the publisher. think I just had the one brake set on these. Yep, there we go. All right, let's hop back in the engine view here. And I'm going to head over and get a load of cordwood. And there's that bug that I reported like a year ago. So I'm going to cut this part out. I'm just going to run over there and fill these up with cordwood, and we'll be back over here. And then we'll hop the climax and get it hooked up to the train and see how it performs backing up and moving in different directions a train as it gets heavier loaded. I'm hoping it's got enough tractive effort that it'll overcome all the weird phantom forces that cause what I call the stored momentum bug. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, that wasn't much time for you. That was a lot of time for me. I got over there, and I got the first two cars loaded, and I pulled forward to get the second two cars loaded, and I went forward a little too far, and then I couldn't stop. So I had to do some shenanigans, unhook two cars, get a run at it, and get back up into the cordwood spot. It's a little steep over there, but I eventually got it done. So now we need to turn the climax around. So let's go do that. I've got sort of a Y here. I mean, it's not built as a Y, but it functions as a Y since I've added some track. Let's get up in this big beast. Make sure we got fire going. Still got some steam. Look at this monster. I love it. So I want to be going down that track backwards. So I need to back up, come over here, and then back. Okay. Just making sure I knew what I was doing. This thing is not fast, but I'm hoping it's got its pulling power like it should. I don't know if it's been nerfed with tractive effort to be more realistic or not. Let's go see what she'll do. Don't take much regulator when you're running light, that's for sure. She's got the air brakes. You might notice I've got the compressor on 15. Just for fun. That way when we use some air, it actually takes a little bit of time to pump back up instead of being like instantaneous. If I need to, I can turn it up. Alright, let's roll through this switch. And let's see if we can use the hand controls. The brake is like way up here, so we got to turn that. That's off. Set that on 1%, and I'll see if I can catch up with it. I want to throw the switch back so it's in the normal position. Once we've ran through. So this track is new. It goes over and joins up to that one. Just to give me options when we're coming back from there. We can head to the depot or vice versa. Alright, that's back to the normal position. Now we run to catch up with the climax. And then we jump in. And we're good. I've got the generator turned down a bit too. I kind of like the soft glow in the headlights. Just as something cool to look at. We don't need them to see right now. And this is a pretty tight corner. I auto-laid this. I don't know. Ooh, that might not work. For cars, so I'll have to see. If that's too sharp, I'll move the switch back to the other side of this one. We can make that a broader curve. Oops. Oh, that's... Oh, this is backwards. Weird. Okay. So take a look at used to. So I just need to throw this switch and then we can back up onto the lumber train. I saw the RROX had the option to throw switches, but it doesn't work with the beta. And I don't know if it's ever going to get updated for the beta. I think a lot of third-party folks have given up on Railroads Online. Yeah, see, I would expect to drag right to open that up. Yeah, that's backwards from what I'm expecting, so that's a little weird. What am I doing? Weird. It's like it had to capture my mouse or something. I was watching the YouTube video while I was loading cordwood, so I tabbed out. I think it kind of confused it a little bit. So about 4% is all you need when you're running light. I love all this linkage though. Check that out. Whee! Definitely made for tight, steep roads. This is what we need. I'm hoping since it is such low geared and powerful, it'll be a little easier to manipulate the train as I'm loading it here. I won't make you sit through the entire loading process. We'll see how it goes. I did put quite a bit of water in it. It's still not full, but it was taken for... It took like 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I give up. So I just went with it. So we'll eventually have to put water in it. I thought I had a connector back there, but let's double check. Yeah, I thought I put one in there. I might have loaded and saved since I... or saved and loaded. Hoi! Come on! Get in the engine! Since then, so... Alright, we do need to pull forward, but I need to set the pin here before we do that. 2 on, and I think it just had the first car brakes. That's all we had on. Alright, so we only got 2 loaded cars. Let's see how we do here. Ease forward a couple cars. I want to get 4 with lumber. Then we'll deal with logs. So actually I could pull forward about a car length and we could start loading beams back there. Alright, so let's get about 8% on, and let's take the brake off here. Doesn't want to start pulling. It's kind of tugging at it. It's thinking about it. There it goes. Alright, let's go see what that looks like. It's a little hard to tell with the perspective. So I want those 2 for lumber, and then I want beams on this one. And I think that'll do it. So I'm going to get this loaded up. We've got the hoppers back there. I think they'll be okay, like in the middle of the train, because they're pretty heavy cars, even empty. And then we just need to tack on the cordwood after I get this loaded. And we'll go from there. So I will see you all in a bit. Again. Cue transition. Alrighty, folks. We got the train all loaded up. And I actually went ahead and set out the extra car. Just so I have a even number of beams to lumber. So we've got 8 lumber cars. Or sorry, 8 beam cars for lumber. I've got the hoppers tied back on, so we're going to pull around. And then we'll get the cordwood stuck on the back with Betsy. And I think we're ready to tackle the mountain. It's going to be a long, slow trip. But I might make a whole episode out of that. Just to see how it does. We'll get everything all staged up. And another function of RROX, Railroads Online Extended, is locomotive control. So I was trying that out, loading this up. That makes it way easier. I can actually sit back there and see what I'm doing. I did put some groundwork here when I was doing it from the cab, and was able to kind of line stuff up that way. But yeah, it's for single player. I'm liking the RROX. I don't know how to say that. It's kind of difficult to say. And this climax is super powerful. It is powerful enough to kind of overcome some of the phantom forces. But I do still see the phantom forces. But this engine has enough oomph that it just kind of walks all over them. It's able to power its way out of it. So that's cool. So we've got 18 cars. We're going to tack on 4 more. Right? Yeah, 8 and 4, and then 6 hoppers. So yeah, 22 car train coming up. We'll see how it handles. We're not going to get anywhere very fast. And you can see there's just a little bit of herky-jerky going on. I don't know if that'll translate in the video or not. Frames are taking a hit every once in a while, and there's some weird physics jerking going on. So we'll see how this plays out. I really do want to get to the iron mine. But we will be dropping the cordwood off before we hit the big grades. We're going to leave that over by the smelter leg. So I need to pull up. Basically, it's stop there. And we're going to back in and we'll grab those cordwood cars. I'm going to try to eyeball that. Kind of a nice bass note to the whistle there. Sounds good. Alright, let's go ahead and put the brake on. Oh, shoot. I'll still switch for the siding. I need to fix that before we head back. I guess it doesn't matter. There's nothing on the siding. But I built this temporary siding here when I was bringing the train up a few cars at a time. So that's why that's here now. Alright, let me do some running. Let's run back to the back of the train. While we're here, let's get rid of that tree. So the bug where when you use the G menu tool and then you exit out, there's no crosshair. That's a really, really old bug. Kind of annoying that hasn't been fixed yet. I can't imagine it would take that much to fix that. So you just double tap G, or if you go into F mode on a locomotive and come back out, it'll restore it. Not the end of the world. It's just annoying. Alright, so we need to throw this switch. And then I need to get the cordwood car staged back here. And I'll go ahead and get the switches lined up, even though these would auto switch. Alright, Betsy, do you still have some steam? Hopefully you do. Pop-off's still going, so looks like we got some steam. So we'll just pull around, we'll unhook Betsy from these, and then we'll back in with the long train, pick them up. And we'll be good to go. Or actually, I kind of like having the brake handles at the front. So new plan. I've got a new plan. We'll take these around over here on this part, and then I can get Betsy snuck in there behind the Montezuma, and we'll back into them from that direction. That way the cars are facing the way I want them to face. At least for now. They'll get jumbled up eventually, I'm sure. I'd like to do something different over here. There's just not enough room. If we had some tighter switches, it would help. I've thought about maybe making a little yard over here, because it is fairly flat there. And some of you even said you went that way to the logging camp, which might make a lot of sense. I think you can go around that hill. It's another bug that I reported a long time ago. Until you move this with the mouse, if you hit a key, it resets to 0. Someday, maybe that'll get fixed. Alright, well, I want to stop here, so we'll get some brakes on. Sneak right in here. Betsy won't take up much room. Plants growing through there. Need to get the weed killer out. There we go. Alright, let's throw this switch, even though would auto throw. Now we can just back our train into those. Just got to do some more running. Make sure these are all lined up. There we go. All right, I'm gonna use my controls on the other screen here. Not sure the whistle is working. If the train starts backing up, then I'm in charge of the climax. There we go. Here it comes. So I will hop on here. We'll throw a link in the pin on there. A little more power on. So, like I said, we're not going to go fast in the climax. It's going to be slow. But you can haul long terrain, so there's a trade-off there. Alright, cut the throttle. Regulator, whatever you want to call it. So you can see I added that track over there, and turns this into a Y if you want to use it like a Y. This is fairly level ground, so I think we should just continue on back. It's just not going to be any high rate of speed. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give her a little nudge. About 4% throttle on. Yeah, that looks like that's working pretty well. Okay, start throwing some brake on. Hopefully I didn't brake too soon. Well, shoot. Alright, no regulator. I'm just going to take the brakes off. See, there's that stored momentum. We're accelerating away from a standstill. No regulator on. Just crappy physics is all that is. Alright. Pick you up. Take you off. I think that's the only brakes I had on this train. And I think we're set. All 22 cars. So you can put your comments in this video. Do you think we're going to make it with the climax? Let me know what you think. And I don't know if I'll see those comments before I get the next episode recorded, because I usually have to record these at least a few days ahead of time as I have time. But you can still make a comment and make a prediction. What do you think will happen? We'll find out in the next episode. All signals cleared. Let's highball. Let's actually throw some wood in there so we have a fire. I've heard having steam is good in a steam locomotive. Yeah, it's no problem at all to get started. So I think we're in good shape. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you in the next adventure. Happy railroading.